All right, so I'm filming this video in a Tesla Model 3 that I actually picked up this past weekend, and it's been really cool. It's been really fun, especially because it's actually really significant for me because last year in 2024, I put it on my vision board, and so and behold, we're here, right? I'm literally looking at the exact picture that I had on that vision board, and I'll probably put it in the video here somewhere. But what I want to do is I want to take a second to sit in here and talk to you guys exactly about how I got here and how you can do the same. Because all in all, I'm not trying to boast. Quite frankly, I don't think, showing off a Tesla Model 3 is anything spectacular either. There's a bunch of better cars out there. But it was really significant in the sense that, hey, I took control over what it is that I set out I was going to do. So it might not be a car for you. It might be just freedom in general. It might be taking your parents out to a vacation that they were never able to afford. It might be a whole bunch of different things. But what I want to specify is how to actually get there, because there's a lot of people misinforming you for no reason whatsoever. Like, they can literally just tell you the truth, and that's exactly what I'm going to do in this video. And just for some context, if you're new here, my name is Sergio Perez. I went from working the bottom of the barrel jobs, working at Amazon, doing DoorDash delivery, making $15 an hour at most, to making $12,000 a month in commissions as an appointment setter. And so what I want to do is show you the exact vehicle that I took, but the actual mindset behind every single step I took to actually get here, because I made countless amounts of mistakes, and quite frankly, I'd rather save you from, making the wrong mistakes and just following a path that actually works. And no, I'm not going to talk about, buying a random crypto coin and just hoping it goes to the moon and, there's a whole pump and dump thing that you're going to be a part of. Like, no, you're going to actually learn a real skill that you have full control over. So number one, you want to start by setting proper expectations. Now, a lot of people, again, in this industry will tell you like, hey, you can make 10K in the next 30 days. But what they won't talk about is all of the foundations that you need to have in order to make that happen. Because 10, 20, 30K a month is not out of reach whatsoever. But it is if you have no foundation set whatsoever, if you have no idea what industry you're getting into, what niche, what skill set, who to help, how to help them, how to get results, how to gain an actual case study, how to market. Like, there's a lot of stuff behind the actual scenes. And so what you need to do is you need to set proper expectations now. Let go of the money. Just stop thinking about earning and start thinking about how you can learn as much as possible at this very moment, because that's what you need. As a beginner, if you're working a 9 to 5, guess what? You're going to have to spend a ton of time actually learning the foundations on getting to a point where you're capable of being able to close $3, $4, $6,000 deals. It's gonna take a lot of work. It's gonna take a lot of sacrifice. You just need to actually set those proper expectations, because if you have the wrong ones, then the only thing that I can guess is gonna happen is you end up starting, 30 days pass, and you see you don't make 10K like they said, like these online gurus told you, and then you end up blaming the entire industry, saying that everything is a scam. And guess what? You end up getting back to that normie mindset that you need to pull yourself away from at all costs. So things like launching a digital product, TikTok shop, drop shipping, SMMA, building an AI agency, anything that sounds like a trendy keyword, just stay away from it. Okay, if it doesn't fall under the actual basics of business in general, it's probably not going to serve you really well. So of course I'm going to tell you to go into appointment setting, because number one, it's very simple. There's a ton of earning potential. I've had students that make 10 grand a month, right? I've had others do $6, $7, $8,000 a month. But it can be any sort of skill set that can fall under marketing, right? It could be video editing, it can be creating content, right? That's a little bit difficult as well. But the number one thing that you want to focus on is learning a skill set and getting really good at it. Now, like I mentioned to you, appointment setting is by far going to be the best one, because it's very, very simple to learn. And there's not a whole lot that has to be done before you get to, your first couple of grand online. So put on your blinders and don't listen to the noise, because if you know for a fact people are swaying you into a certain direction that they want you to go down, then it's probably not going to be the best idea to follow them. But if they give you inspiration, and if they motivate you, and if they help you stay consistent in some way, shape, or form, then by all means, make sure you listen to them. But you want to make sure you're going down a path that is not trendy, that doesn't always seem like a new opportunity that you have to jump on. And then the last principle that I want to talk about here is you just have to commit. Now, this is by far going to be the most important thing, guys, because I will say, honestly, transparently speaking, everything basically works. Everything that people talk about online in terms of making money, some are obviously way more difficult. And to be honest, I think that's going to be the difference between if you're being smarter or if you're trying to work harder, right? but everything for the most part will work. You just have to commit. And so if you're trying to jump from this thing to the next thing to the next thing every 30 days, you're probably not going to see any success, because the person that stays around for the long term and actually stays around to see what the grass looks like on the other side is the person that will always win. So, when it comes to committing, well, yeah, you actually have to do the thing, you have to commit to a process, but you also have to learn how to make sacrifices. I know for a fact a lot of you watching work jobs that don't pay you what you want to actually be paid, right? Maybe it's on an hourly rate. And so what ends up happening is you wait for the weekend to come around, and then when it comes around, you like to spend your time doing low-level activities with your friends that you've been doing for years on end. I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying I was in that exact position, right? Every single weekend, every Saturday, it was a party with my family, right? Hanging out with, my cousins and doing degenerate things, right? Drinking and just trying to always forget about what was happening during the week. But what you need to realize is you're going to be in a season of sacrifice. Meaning, when you get home from work every single day, every single hour after that, you have to be working towards whatever dream, whatever it is that you actually have set out for yourself. Cool. So if you want a Tesla Model 3, perfect. But make sure that's top of mind every single time you get home from work. Because if you decide to lay on the couch, watch Netflix, eat unhealthy foods, it's probably not going to work out for you the way you think it is. So you're going to have to sacrifice time after work. You're going to have to sacrifice time on the weekends. You're probably not going to see your significant other the way you want to, or the way you're normally used to. And so you really just have to ask yourself that question at that point. Am I actually willing to commit the way that is necessary for me to actually see the grass on the other side? Because if it's not, then okay, that's completely fine. You're just going to have to figure it out in terms of the traditional path that they have set out for you. But if you want something different, if you want to actually achieve the stuff that you see people online achieving, you're going to have to give all of that up. And I know it might seem hard on the front end, but there's literally nothing else that has to happen other than you just committing and making those major sacrifices. So that's about it, ladies and gents. You guys have the exact blueprint on what needs to happen. If you guys have any questions, you guys have any concerns about, sacrifices and whatnot, what vehicle to actually take, how to get into appointment setting, etc., send me a message over on Instagram. It's linked below. I'm always talking with everybody who's watching these videos, and it just helps me gain more feedback, but it also gives me a chance to help you in case I have anything valuable to share. So nonetheless, I'll see you all in the next one.